Hey everybody, Roxabox90 here with a spoiler to Conspiracy, our first major mythic spoiler for the set, and it's going to be of Dack Fayden, who we just speculated about. We get to see if we were right in our speculations. I think it's going to be really cool. We're going to jump right in a second. I'll just also mention briefly, sorry my journey to Nick's set reviews going a little slow. I was hoping to get them all out one day at a time, but I got disrupted in that, so I'm going to try to get them out as fast as I can. Plan for them to be out all before the pre-release. Same thing for the pre-release thoughts, specific thoughts. Those will be also hopefully before the pre-release, and the top 10 will probably be delayed to early next week before the set comes out, but still a little later than I was hoping to get it out. But stay tuned for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Dack Fayden, who we already saw a mock-up of. It's pretty much the same art. It's blue, red, and 1. 3 mana cost. We pretty much knew that was how it's going to be. Most, besides for Jace the Mind Sculptor, the other good Planeswalkers are 3 mana, specifically Liliana. Mythic, Planeswalker Dack. So he's 3 loyalty, which we kind of expected. His +1 is target player draws 2 cards, discards 2 cards. Faithless Looting, very solid, never really a bad ability. It's card advantage and can also work with Graveyard. So pretty good all around. -2, gain control target artifact. This was the blandest, relatively blandest of the abilities, but it did fit his flavor, and it is still a solid ability. What makes it awkward in terms of making him useful is that he doesn't really protect himself. Because at least in Legacy, maybe Vintage, but Legacy, pure artifact decks are not necessarily the top tier decks. And it's not necessarily going to help you because even if they are, they're not necessarily going to be a creature. So stealing it doesn't necessarily protect Dack Fayden, which makes it awkward. Because you're going to be playing him, you want him to do stuff. And most Planeswalkers, Liliana and Jace specifically, protect themselves. So where you can get away with it a little bit in other formats, it's very hard to get into an Eternal format and not effectively protect yourself. It's still very cool. There are plenty of great artifacts out there. It's going to be really fun in Vintage to steal someone's Lifesteal Colossus or something. And in Legacy, of course, taking someone's sword is going to hurt a lot. But or theoretically Batterskull. But overall, I don't think it's such a super powerful ability, and it is so narrow, it's going to make it, already it's going to be awkward for him. That being said, I think that, let's get to his ultimate ability, and I'll talk about what I think specifically. His ultimate is -6, you get an emblem with whenever you cast a spell, that targets 1 or more permanents, you gain control of those permanents. Wowzers. Now that is a nice pushed ultimate. Of course, it's going to be very difficult to get it off, but that's fantastic. That you use your spells to steal your opponent's permanents. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Lightning bolt, take your huge creature. Wow. All right, that's pretty awesome. Definitely a fun ultimate. So EDH Commander, I think he's a solid utility. His +1 is pretty good. It's basically card draw every turn, and then his -6 is absolutely insane and will be pushed in the right decks for sure, no questions asked. The -2 is fine in any of the formats. There are artifacts. There are good artifacts, of course, broken artifacts in Vintage, Legacy, and EDH Commander. That being said, it's not the most, it's a fairly narrow protection effect, which makes it much less effective, I think, than Liliana or Jace, of course. Putting him as the 3rd tier, probably best Planeswalker for Eternal formats, which is probably what he was designed for to begin with. So overall, I think he will see EDH Commander play, of course. Legacy and Vintage, less likely, probably a little more narrow. It would be fun to see where he ends up there, because he's still a cool Planeswalker, no question about it. Don't quite know if he's playable enough, but he's still very cool. Very cool. So he'll be appearing in Conspiracies, our first Planeswalker. I don't know if they have more Planeswalkers in Conspiracy. It is a large set, relatively large set. It's 200-something cards. They might have 2, maybe even 3 Planeswalkers, but he is for sure in it, and here is the final version. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about him below in the comments section. Please let me know what you think of him fitting into the formats and your general thoughts about him. If you enjoyed the video, tap the like button, and if you're new to the channel, check in and subscribe. As always, Roxabox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.